Not many take Austria to be a hockey-influenced country. The only Austrian NHLers I can name are honestly Vanek and Grabner. But in the OHL for the Ottawa 67s, there lies a gem, an Austrian by the name of Marco Rossi, selected 18th in the CHL import draft and coming over to Canada as quick as he could to play with the powerhouse Ottawa 67s team, and surely turned heads and impressed everybody. Rossi in my records is a definite qualifier to be a top 5 pick in the 2020 NHL entry draft, with his late September birthday being bumped out of this year's draft in Vancouver. Rossi may not have much raw skill and elite traits that players like Lafreniere, Raymond, or Holtz have, but his game is so complete in every stage, unlike these players who only dominate in a couple parts of the games. And the big reason of why I'm in such awe of Rossi and his game is how he plays it at the stature he possesses. Being 5'9" and 179 pounds, Rossi is not the biggest guy out there on the ice, but he plays with the qualities of someone who stands above 6 feet. A reliable center on the draws who's also put out there in late stages of close games to shut down the top opposition players. Sounds like Rossi's filling out roles that you would usually see a big 19 to 20 year old in the CHL taking, but instead he's a tiny, dynamic 17-year-old Austrian kid, shutting down some of the OHL's best at times, and his stats prove it. A plus 51 rating, good enough for third in the OHL, only behind his two line mates Ty Fellaber and Austin Keating, who had plus 56 each. And they played 15 more games than Rossi this season since he was injured midway through the season. Sure, you can argue he was on a stacked 67s team, but a plus 51 is still remarkable in every shape and form. So far, Rossi has received a lot of comparisons to former first overall pick Nico Hischier. It's actually funny because they used to play together back in Switzerland. Even though he was Austrian, the competition, wasn't as good, so he played in Switzerland for a lot of his junior career over there, being like 14 to 17. Anyways, the comparison. This is mainly due to their remarkable similar play styles, elite offensive centers that also carry a great understanding of the two-way game. Hischier has a couple of inches on Rossi, but it doesn't stop Rossi from playing the outstanding two-way game that he does. I'm gonna go through some of his impressive offensive statistics now. Rossi put up very impressive numbers on the score sheet this season, in the regular and the postseason. Rossi ended up notching 29 goals and 36 assists in 53 regular season games, along with another 22 points in 17 playoff appearances, including 6 multi-point efforts. He was second in regular season rookie scoring despite playing 10 less games than the other top 20 prospect, Cole Perfetti. Let's dive into his assets of his all-around stellar game so we can see how he posts up such astounding numbers. First, I'll bring up his offensive upside. Rossi says he sees himself as an all-around playmaker, and he's not bluffing. Rossi has an incredible awareness of his surroundings and where all of his teammates are at all times, making slick passes easily that usually end up being great scoring chances for his teammates. I'm going to add, I find his ability to adapt to the smaller ice surface in North America so quickly incredible. Rossi has no problem saucing the puck around on the more crowded surface. This is easily Rossi's most threatening asset, in my opinion. Next, onto Rossi's shot. Not a terrible shot, but definitely not the best shot in the world. Rossi has a very accurate wrist shot, although it could have a bit more pepper on it. His release is very good too, although when it comes to Rossi's goal scoring, they usually come by being in the perfect spot. Rossi's positioning in the offensive zone keeps him open most of the time, allowing him to sneak in for backdoor feeds and rebounds. Rossi is also great at making shots easier for himself by stick handling his way through opponents, getting up close and personal with the goaltender, and either fires away a quick shot or dangles the goalie out of positioning. Rossi's skating is also above average, but it can use some work too. His agility and edge work is very elite to go along with his impressive stick handling. He's not slow by any means, but Rossi's top speed can be greatly improved. Rossi says his skating is where he needs to put a lot of his focus into during the offseason if he really wants to make big strides in his career. Rossi has a fluent step and the technique is there, just needs some revitalization to take it to the next tier. Now, my favorite thing I want to talk about with Marco Rossi's game, his defensive abilities. I'm deeply impressed on how established his defensive game is already with the frame he is in and the age he is at. Such a mature and well-rounded two-way center at such an early point in his career. Rossi works incredibly in all 3 zones, constantly applying forecheck when he does not have the puck and getting in front of passing lanes. Rossi's teammates always compliment his work ethic that goes into his game on and off the ice. He's really a player that never has his foot off the accelerator. Another part of his defensive game that is extremely impressive is his face-offs. Rossi put up 54% on the draws in the regular season and led all rookies in OHL for the face-off attempts. Rossi continued to dominate the dot, with 56% in the playoffs, taking a respectable amount of face-offs then too. He's by no means someone, like Patrice Bergeron in the face-offs, but doing this at 17 years old too, against, a lot of the centers that he's up against too, like the first line centers, they're like 19, 20, and he's beating them, with a positive, at least an above 50% average. It could definitely get a lot better in the upcoming years. So far, Rossi is arguably my favorite prospect of the 2020 draft, and I can't wait to see how he'll produce for the 67s next season, and ultimately, how high he'll go in the draft rankings. He's got some incredible competition for a top 5 spot, but I feel his perseverance and work ethic can guide him to a very high selection in a luxurious NHL career. Anyways, that was my take on Marco Rossi, guys. Tell me what you think about him below, and just, in case, what other 2020 prospects would you like to see me cover? It looks like it is going to be a fantastic draft, like Lafreniere, Byfield, Holtz, Raymond, Lundell, he's one that I'm really intrigued with. Just a bunch more too. There's even one Blazer, Kamloops Blazer, I'm really interested in this season. I really hope he's going to do well. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.